What I want to do is just kind of dive in and have each of you take a moment and share your journey. How did you get to where you are today? And Raj, since you're on top, I'm gonna start with you, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah, no problem. It's funny how we end up on the screen, right? But yeah, I was in a family business for 25 years. My dad was a kind of in the Xerox career path, and he got laid off in 1976 and bought a little company called Executone in Rochester, New York, and I was living with my mom in Michigan. But early on, even in summers, I recall, because I always liked the technical side of the business and I had a technical bent to it, that I would kind of come in and hang around the techs and the guys and sort of check out the business. And that evolved, if I get to 15, a real work permit, and kind of work for a summer and get to go out with the guys, and that was a lot of fun. And they seemed to have some trust in me. I recall weekly volleyball games and beer, and being instructed not to talk to my dad before I went to bed. So year over year, I sort of knew that this is what I wanted to do. And I went off to college, and then when I got out of college, I had a job waiting for me, which was kind of nice. Back in the family business, so that's what I did. And my dad took me through a series of roles and jobs that he felt would be important for me to succeed him, whether or not I liked the roles or not. He kind of saw fit. And then 25 years later, after being the CEO for, I guess it would have been probably 4 years, sort of made that decision that it was time to sell the business. And we did that, and I expected to stay with the successor business and ownership, and that made it, as Kim knows well, it made it 7 weeks, and I said goodbye and started my own business. So I'm kind of 7 years into Convergent, and we're still in telecom. So I feel like I have never left that industry, but sort of have my own family business since I now I work with my wife.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. Kim, tell us about yourself.
I was reminiscing just last night. My dad started Mike in an industry similar to yours. He owned a brokerage business. And when I was in like first grade, maybe, I would go in on Saturdays and do the filing, because by then I knew my ABCs. And he sold that original business when we were pretty young. Ultimately would go back into it, but along the timeline, acquired a steel heat treating business and some commercial real estate and just a bunch of different things. So I have the same memories of somehow always being plugged in. I remember being in that library and doing the filing and earning however many dollars a Saturday. My story is a little different in that, well, I've done 3 tours. So I've been in the business, out of the business, back in the business, and I've been in different parts of the business. Came out of college, wanted to get a graduate degree, had a couple of job offers, but none that dovetailed with going to school. So joined in a project management capacity, moved over to the brokerage side for a season, and then ultimately ran the steel heat treating business for a time. So I've done a bunch of different things, did an interim CEO gig at one point. And each time I've left, there's been good reasons for leaving. And each time I came back, there were good reasons for joining. I think in terms of where I'm now positioned, all that experience is just a blessing. And there's no better way to put it. I learned something in every role I had, in every space that I got to sit in. And now I run a company that does organizational transformation. We have a pretty strong focus on finances, but we do mostly people work, and family businesses are very unique.